Today we're going to cover oil mist filters and why they're important for a freeze dryer, as well as how to clean this one. With that being said, let's go and get into it. So let's start with what an oil mist filter is. So an oil mist filter is a filter that helps prevent oil mist from coming out. It's also known as a demister, but specifically what happens is when you have a rotary vane vacuum pump, there's oil in there that's going around in a circle super fast, and inevitably it's going to generate oil mist. So this is a problem that is kind of a known problem in the industry with rotary vane vacuum pumps. Generally, rotary vane vacuum pumps are meant for the HVAC industry, and they just kind of exhaust the oil mist atmosphere. They don't really care about it. It might stink up the room for a little bit, but they just open a window, and they're only doing it, one time every 15 years. So they don't really care if there's a little bit of extra oil mist. It wasn't until rotary vane vacuum pumps started being used for home freeze drying that we really had to start worrying about like a demister. So again, the oil mist filter is really just meant to filter out the oil mist coming off the vacuum pump. It's really nice if you are in an apartment or if you can't open a window because it's summer or it's winter. It's just really nice to have. When we designed this oil mist filter, we actually designed it from a $500 filter that we bought and then reverse engineered. So there was this $500 filter that we really liked. It was more of like a scientific filter. And what we did is we took it apart. We said, hey, these are some really nice characteristics that we like. So we copied that, and then we took and we added a few more filters on top of that. So we added a pre-filter, which is more of like almost like a stainless steel mesh on the bottom. And then we also added a finishing filter, which is like a carbon filter. So it's actually 3 filters in one. And when you put your nose on top of this thing, when it's running, you really can't smell anything coming out of it. We designed these filters to fit most vacuum pumps from the major freeze dryer brands, but we also designed them with a universal KF fitting. So that way, if you've got a scientific freeze dryer or just a scientific vacuum pump, we've got a fitting that'll fit yours as well. So this is what will come with your filter once you get it. And this is the fitting that we change out for the different style pumps or the different fittings. So anyways, when you're making the selection, just make sure that you get that one correct. This is the fitting that goes onto our pumps for Blue Alpine. But again, we've got them for most major styles and brands. And then this is, if you're ever going to take this apart, this is how you take it apart. So it's got a little wing nut in there. You just take that apart, unscrew it. And you can take this filter out. There's a pleated filter in here. You can take that out and you can clean it, just soapy water. You can try to clean it in like a solvent, but we found that, honestly, soapy water works the best. So, and then this is where we get a lot of questions. So this little guy is a 40mm NATO cartridge for like a gas mask. So you will want to go ahead and pull this guy off. This keeps the carbon inside of the filter good. And then you'll also want to pull this guy off and set that aside. That's trash. You should have a O-ring right here, but if you don't have it or if you lose it, it's really honestly okay. It is better with it, but this plastic makes a good enough seal. And this is really just like a finishing filter. So you don't 100% need that, but it is better with it. So after that, you go ahead and just screw this on, and that is installed. So you just take this, you see the end of that hole, and then you just kind of screw it on. You don't want to take it too tight. These are aluminum fittings, or these are like aluminum threads. So aluminum on aluminum, it can gall. You don't want to get it too tight because it can cause issues. So you just go tight enough until you get this gasket to kind of make contact, and then it's good to go. I've got this used one here that I figure I might as well just show it being cleaned. So in order to clean it, and I've been using this for, I don't know, several months, but you just take this 40mm NATO cartridge, take that off. And then this one is an older style. It's got a little retaining Allen key in there. Take the Allen key and go ahead and loosen that. Take that out. And then this comes off, and you're left with this filter right here. So there's going to usually be a little bit of corrosion or oxidation, just gunk in general. This thing, it is a filter. It's an oil mist filter. So anything coming out of the pump is going to get caught by this thing. And then to take this guy off, this is actually a twist. So you take and you unscrew that. And sometimes there's water in, not sometimes, a lot of times there's water in there. And that is super normal because your pump is going to be exhausting water and it's got to go somewhere. It goes through the filter. So you can take this. Oh, you can see how much water is in there. There's actually quite a bit. So anyways, there's quite a bit of water in there. I'm going to go dump that out. And then this is the stainless steel filter that is, just like a mesh. It's like a coalescing filter. I'll clean it with soapy water. And then this actually looks really good. This is not saturated at all, which I'm really happy with. And anyways, yeah, so I'm just going to clean that out and dump the water. Go ahead and just take and dump the water out. Get that kind of dry and clean. There's going to be residue right here, so you'll also want to wipe that out. And then we'll take this guy, and this is glued in, and usually, this has already been cleaned once, but usually there is like an oil buildup. It's an oil film that almost resembles like petroleum jelly. So we'll take a paper towel and just wipe that clean, just get it as clean as possible, just by wiping it off. And then from there, we can take and get it all soaped up. So we'll take this, and we'll kind of just soap it in. And this is not saturated at all with oil. So if this were saturated with oil, I'd do the same thing on this part. But because this is really the only thing that's saturated right now, I'm just going to take and just clean this portion and work the soap into it. And then I'm just going to take, I kind of want to keep this dry because this is not saturated. I'm a little impatient and I don't want to have to wait for this whole thing to dry overnight. So I'm just going to take and just rinse this portion, water, but just take warm water. I'm going to just kind of rinse it through, just shake it dry. Now it's clean and ready to use. And then once you've got it all clean, you're just going to go ahead and just reinstall everything. So go ahead and screw this guy in. And these are plastic threads, so be careful, don't kill it as far as the tension goes. And then this guy just goes on top. Just kind of seats right on top. And then this little screw, whether it's a wing nut or an Allen key, you just take and start that. And then go ahead and tighten this till it seats down in there, kind of gently. And then you take this guy, and if this goes bad, this is actually a really cheap part. I want to say they're like $14 on Amazon or something like that. You can replace it. This really shouldn't go bad because these two filters do a really good job at filtering things. But if it ever does go bad, it's a really cheap part. It's called a 40mm NATO cartridge, kind of like I said earlier, and you can find them on Amazon. So. And anyways, yeah, so you screw that all back together and then go reinstall it. Hopefully you found this valuable, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Thanks for watching.